Happy Friday, everybody from Las Vegas. Hope you're doing great outside today. It is a mere, let me double check the tip, it's a mere 86 degrees. Every time the temperature has been so hot and so humid. I realize, if you're in Houston, you're looking at our 25, 28% humidity and thinking, what are you talking about? But I'm telling you, out here, it has felt so hot and humid. And we are getting a break from that. And I've been doing my emails and writing and work outside today. So just thought I'd join you outside. Hope everybody's doing great. If you would take a moment and share, that's how we grow the audience. And I appreciate that. Share. And we can grow our audience here on Daily Distinction. And whether you're watching, as I said, on live or on replay, it helps if you share it. That builds our audience. And I can't thank you enough for that. Hey, good to see you, Brian. Happy Friday to you and the whole Hee Haw gang here that's with us. And you got to be a little older to know what that means. So glad that you're here, Brian. Glad you're watching. And hey, Ted, great to see you. Yes, I am back in Vegas. Guys, I didn't realize we're on the flight pattern today. But yeah, back in Vegas. Fly out again next week. So looking forward to that, doing some traveling. So Scott, always great to see you, my friend from back home. Glad you're doing well. Hope everything is good with you. Happy Friday. Looking forward to a big weekend. It's going to be a short episode because I've got one thing I wanted to tell you because something really struck me today. And there's my friend Scott. So great to see you. If you don't follow Scott, there's some great messages, and particularly for those of us that are Christians. Scott is a real thought leader and an incredible speaker and sharer of great information. So thank you, Scott, for being here. I appreciate you so much. I've got a LinkedIn invitation today, and I accepted it, and I thought it was really nice and really interesting. And the LinkedIn invitation came from, I'm going to double check because I want to make certain that I get her name right, Sharon Boyd. And Sharon is the Chief Customer Experience Officer at MKL Innovation, which is in the United Kingdom. And one of the things that struck me when I accepted Sharon's LinkedIn invitation, I looked at her profile. And one of the things that it said in there is that she's a student pilot. Now, why did that strike me? It's what she had underneath that. That is what I wanted to share with you today because it really struck me. And it's something I think is very cool to talk about. And on her LinkedIn profile, it was her as a pilot, right? I mean, she's got the headphones on and she's sitting in the pilot's seat. And it said from one day, and she talked about how she had said, one day I'm going to be a pilot, right? One day I'm going to learn to fly. One day I'm going to do this. But what was cool is how she said it. She said, from one day to day one. I'd never heard it put that way before, but I thought that was really, really terrific. What is something that you have said, one day I'm going to do? And it might be one day in our business, we need to make this better. Or one day I need to get in better shape. Or one day I need to learn this that I've never tried. Or one day I need to write my book. Or one day I need to learn how to tell better stories. Or one day, how do you turn that one day into day one? See, you're never going to get to the end. You know this. You know this better than I. You're never going to get to that end unless you take that first step. The oldest phrase in the world, perhaps, is the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. But what we have to do is get started. That one day to day one. I won't reveal what it is, but there's a project, has nothing to do with business, but there's a project that I've always wanted to do. Something in my life I've always wanted to do. And I started. Now, I'll share it with you a little bit later on. I'm not saying that just to tease you or keep you in suspense. It's just I want to get further along in the project before I start talking about it. But it doesn't relate to the business. It doesn't relate to giving another speech or conducting another seminar or anything like that. But it was cool to go from one day I will do this to day one that I've started it. So really the only message I've got for us today on Daily Distinction as we wrap up another week is to ask you, first off, what have you said that one day you're going to do? And then what does it take to go from one day to day one when you begin to actually make it reality. Hey, look, we've talked, if you're part of the Iconic Inner Circle, and by the way, that's one of the things I certainly want to invite you to take part in. First month's on me. It's absolutely free, no risk. Join, try it out, see if you like it. We have free programs on storytelling and virtual events, how you conduct and do events and sales calls better virtually, what it takes to attain personal distinction. We have weekly distinction sessions. All of that's available for you, and it costs you nothing to join. First month's on me. Just join us at the Iconic Inner Circle. So one of the things I think we need to do is to actually define and write down what's that one day I'm going to do it. I mean, so many times it stays in the back of our heads, and we never write down one day I will. So that'd be the first thing I'd suggest to you. One day I will. And then ask yourself, how do I move from one day to day one? Now, as I was saying a second ago, it doesn't mean that we'll succeed at it. You know, she could start trying to be a pilot and decide, man, this is too expensive for my current budget, or I really don't like this as much as I thought I would, or it's taking so much time away from other pursuits. This might not be what is best for me or what I want to do. Hey, any of those things could happen. Would we call that a failure? I wouldn't. I would call it changing my opinion based on additional information. See, here's what I mean. I can say one day I'm going to be a pilot, but as I'm going through the training and the course, the more I learn about it, the more I understand it's not for me, then making a decision not to continue, to me, isn't quitting. It's adjusting my decision based upon additional information. So the key is you're not going to spend the rest of your life saying one day, right? You're not going to spend the rest of your life beating yourself up because you didn't do something you desired. Joe Calloway and I talk about this a lot, how it's important to aggressively be a quitter, right? If you're doing something and you realize this isn't what I want to do, or if you're doing something and realize this isn't going to work, there's absolutely nothing wrong with changing your mind. Matter of fact, it's productive to do that rather than to continue. Now, where people quit too soon is when there's incredible opportunity. It's just the work's too hard, or there's incredible things that they could make happen in their life. They just don't want to discipline themselves to do it. That's when quitting's wrong. But if she would have started flight school and realized after learning more, hey, being a pilot isn't for me, that's not quitting. That's adjusting your decision based upon additional information. But you don't know that until you start. So the encouragement, again, I'm giving you, instead of in your mind saying, one day I'm going to, write down, one day I will. And then you ask yourself the second question. What do I need to do to move from one day to day one? When you do that, you continue to advance yourself to create distinction. Well, hey, thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing, whether you're watching live or on the replay. I really appreciate you being here. And as I said earlier, I truly appreciate when people just take just a moment, hit that share button, and expose your friends to the ideas and the concepts that we talk about here every day on Daily Distinction. As I said, man, I hope you have a great weekend. I'll check in with you Monday on the next edition of Daily Distinction. Thanks for watching. See you soon.